Back with another tablet. This is the Paper 7 Color 7.8 inch RLCD tablet. It runs Android 14. And there it is right there. This isn't your average tablet. You're not going to game on this thing. You're not going to read in low light conditions with this thing. It's not an LCD. It's not e-ink, but it's like some weird hybrid kind of, it's just interesting. I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't have a backlight. It doesn't have blue light strain. It's actually full color. I have looked at one of these before that was kind of similar, and it looked pretty good. I actually have it over there on the table. I like to read comic books on it. This one's different than that one. It's about 5.5 millimeters thick. Like I said, it's 7.8 inches. The book folio that you can get separate. It comes with a pen that you can get separate, or you can get this all as like a package or whatever, like I did. It has USB-C charging, pretty standard now. Has a 2.4 and 5 gig Wi-Fi, pretty standard. Bluetooth 5.0. It doesn't have a backlight, so you have to have good lighting. And I found that you have to have really good overhead lighting or directional lighting that's going right at the screen. I'll show you that in a minute. It does have a 60 hertz refresh rate. If you took this out in the sun, it would look the best. We'll simulate the sun with a flashlight. I have a really bright flashlight here. I'll kind of show you what I mean there. But the brighter the light, the better it's going to look, which is going to kind of limit the use case for this, but it's still kind of really cool. So it has like a paper-like kind of look. You know, there's no screen glare. I mean, you will get some glare from like really bright light because it's just going to bounce off the material, but you don't get like the shiny glare you would on your phone or whatever. Now, it does only have Android 14. I don't know if it's going to get 15 at some point or not. It has an Octa-core 2 gigahertz processor, up to 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. You can do like document editing on stuff if you wanted. Has a 3100 milliamp lithium iron battery in it. It does have an 8 megapixel rear camera and the 5 megapixel front camera, so you can do like document scans, video calls. I guess some people, mainly boomers, take photos with their tablets. I've seen tablets at concerts before, and I'm just like, what are you doing? It does have the G sensors for the auto rotation, pretty standard these days. Now with the stylus, if you get that, it has 4096 level stylus precision, so it kind of feels like a sketchbook or whatever. Good for students, professionals, all that kind of stuff. I might see if one of my nieces wants to try drawing on it, but you know, that's beyond me. I have no artistic ability whatsoever, and I have not even opened the stylus, so we'll get to that. First, let me show you what I mean about the device. Unless that light's like right on it, it's not going to be very easy to see. Let me enter my pin here. Back this up from my Android phone. It's got all that stuff. It's just wallpaper that kind of came with it. But see what I mean? You do get a little bit of glare, but not like a horrible glare. And that's just because these can lights, the white cans are kind of, you know, they do this on literally everything. They'll do it on the butter dish. You really have to have that lighting. So if we come over here under one of the lights, you can see like it gets much better experience. So let me open a book here. I just grabbed something in our Kindle library. I do kind of have it in the Kindle library dark mode. So let me get to a page. I will say it does kind of show fingerprints, as you can see. But there is the text, you know, yada, yada. This is that sister wife's book or whatever from one of the former wives. My wife watches these reality shows. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of your display. Now, for giggles, I put 3D Mark on here because I wanted to see what would happen. And on the best, or I mean on the lowest, one of the lowest 3D Mark settings, it did not do very great. But they even tell you in their ad copy that you're not going to game on this thing. It's really not great. It was getting 4.21 frames per second, but I just thought I'd do it just because it was fun. Now, let me pull up a YouTube video of mine. So here's a video I did. And then we'll bring in the flashlight here. See if I can diffuse that light sound. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So see, with diffused light, like really bright light, it's actually pretty good. The sun would be similar. And if I take that light away, it gets not as great. But so you really want bright light with this thing. Out of the box, the stylus for me was dead, so I needed to charge it a little. Don't know how long it's going to last. I've only let it charge for about 5 minutes, but probably enough to get through this. I just went into the Google Play Store and put drawing app. This is the first thing that came up. But you can see you definitely have the different levels. And then we can come over here, you know, and do, our blur tool. So we're going to blur. I don't know anything about this app. Yeah, it's blurring, just barely. But like, now we'll do the eraser and we can come in and erase stuff. So if you're artistically inclined, or you just want to like do handwritten notes or whatever, and you have an app that you prefer, that doesn't really appeal to me. My handwriting is atrocious. I can't draw, so I don't really need a stylus, but I thought I'd show it to you there. And again, let's find a color in this app. I think I picked some red here. Oh yeah. So you can see that, maybe a little purple, blue. You can see. So yeah, stylus works. Now, just keep in mind, you're going to want overhead light for this, or light, if you're not using it flat, light that's behind you so you can see this good, because, you know, you get it a little in the dark and it starts to get kind of not so great. But I'm sure there's a market for this. There's people that don't want that eye strain, that want the color. This would probably be good for comics. It's not going to be as vivid as other options that do have a backlight, but it would still look pretty cool. It may actually look more like the traditional comic prints, like the golden era stuff, you know, like old Superman, and because it kind of had that like washed out, you know, because it was still the dots on the paper and everything. That might actually be kind of interesting. But yeah, it's a pretty good little tablet.